Yo, what's going on guys, NeoCod here. Today I am back with a brand new series that I think that you guys are going to enjoy. So a lot of you recently have been asking me like ways that you can get better at the game and what you should do in certain situations and all different kinds of things to do with mainly competitive. However, there is quite a few different things that will help you in public match as well. So I thought, you know what, I might make a series where I go around helping you guys, actually get better at the game as it is and hopefully teach you something new, Everyone can improve. There's always something that you can always improve on, and I found one of the best ways to improve is actually to watch either someone else play. If you all play with the actual person, like learn knowledge from them. So that's basically what this video is. However, this is going to be one of like many videos that I'm going to do. It's going to be almost like a very big series. So I'm basically going to take you around the map and show you the best ways that I believe for hardpoint on this map. Right, so starting off here, we are on UNSA side, so I had to check that then. I wasn't really sure what side we were on. However, this is the spawn point, as you guys probably know. For the first hill, don't forget guys, it is mid. It's just in between the two trains right here. Just beneath those crates. If you're UNSA, you start on this side. If you start an SDF, you start, of course, on the other side of the map. Everyone knows that. However, I'm going to have to show you from both sides for the first hill. The second and so on hill don't really matter because, you've already played first hill, so you could be spawning either side, so it doesn't really matter for the other hills. However, say you're UNSA side, normally in a typical 4v4 situation, of course, this is not regarding public match, this is obviously competitive. However, like I said, this might actually be useful in public match, especially of those that play the competitive playlist. Okay, so you would first of all always have someone running underneath what this is called underpass. You always want to run someone through here purely because it's a quick way to get to hill, but however, you don't actually, yes, it's okay to get into the hill and you want to get towards the hill, but one big thing for this first hill is most people don't actually try and get the hill time. If it's free and there's no one in it and you think that you can stay alive in there, then yes, it's always good. But it's literally the center of the map. You can be shot from so many different places. So the best thing that every single team tries to do is to keep people out of this hill. You don't have to go and, get the hill time for this hill. For every other hill, I would say, yes, you want to try and get some time. But for this hill, you just want to get people out of it. That's the main focus. So whether, say you have three people that are still alive, and they could be anywhere, you're not sure where they are, then I would say not get the hill. If you say there's only one person alive, then and you know where they are, they're not going to be behind you or to the side, then you know that, we might be able to get this hill time. So that is a very important thing. Now, if you can run either one or two people through here, it's purely up to you guys. You can try different things and see how it works out. Another good play, which is very, very handy indeed, is always try and run someone down the right side of the map. No matter from which side, whether you come from this side or from this side, you want to have someone here, not typically standing on top of here. Yeah, this can be a good spot, you can see everything, but you got to remember, if you can see everything, everyone can see you back, which is never good. So I typically suggest normally coming towards this lemon alley and pre-aim and everything. However, that is very predictable and it'll be good at the start of the game, but everyone knows that people run up here and like to keep this part of control. So what a lot of people do now, and why is really a good idea, is to try and push through, because you're going to probably get into a few gunfights, whether it be from here or from the side of bowling. So it's always good to try and push up and keep control of that right side of the map. One big thing that you've got to remember when you're on this side is you do not want to lose this side. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do, but always think ahead of yourself. This is next rotation. It is in barn. You want to try and keep barn side if you can. Like I said, it's not the end of the world if you don't, because as a team you can actually break things and you can hold things, but it's always best to hold this side. And that's why me as a player, as an AR player, I suggest going into this room, because that way you're not pushing past it, you're not likely to flip it. And if you do think that there's someone flanking around train side, which is over this side of the map, then you can look behind them, you can pick them off, you can shoot them, and also you can very easily get to the back of the spawn, which is very important for the next hill. So if we rotate hill here, the hill's now moved to barn. I purposely didn't put on hardpoint because I didn't know how long I was going to explain for each hill, but as most of you guys probably know, if you play hardpoint, the next hill is in barn. You always want to have back control no matter what, because you want someone to be able to anchor these spawns almost. That's pretty much what the anchor's job is on this hill. I mean, of course, if you're playing properly as a team, you don't have to be back here. You could have one here, you could have one on the side, and they won't even get to the back. However, a lot of teams tend to either push around lemon try and get around to this back so they can get spawned, so they can spawn closer to the hill. Because of course in hardpoint, if you're spawning closer to the hill, it is very handy indeed because it allows you to break it. But what a lot of teams do as well is they spawn out. When you've got control of this back half here, they tend to spawn over here. Now, this is good and all that, you know, to challenge hill, but a lot of people predict this, and, you know, you often have, if the enemy is this side of hill, they often, you know, come out here and know that you're spawning over here. So what I suggest doing, you know, as a team, say you've got 3 people behind you, I'd suggest leaving the few seconds, you know, let them have a few seconds and just push around back like that. Like, it's so simple, but yet so effective. If you have 2 or more people coming around here, you can have 1 to challenge hill, and you can have 1 to go around the outside and get spawned, so that way your team keeps spawning here, which is very, very good indeed. Okay, right then, so moving on to the next hill, we have under bridge. Now, this hill, there isn't really much to it because it's literally just one lane. It is a very hectic thing. I would say with this hill, you're just trying to contest, you know, the whole of your team is just going to be in the corners of this hill, just trying to not let it go, basically, because from no matter which way you look at it, whether it's from bowling or from lemon, it's pretty much the same, you know. The only difference is really you have this caravan here, which is very handy because you can actually jump up and see mid-map without them seeing you from bridge. I often come here if I'm on this side, and also you gotta remember this side is the side towards the next hill, which is always what you want. You always want to be thinking about next hill. A lot of people will flank this side as well, so if I am caravan and I do, like, you know, shoot a few people in hill, I know there's going to be a few people flanking, so I'll often, like, lie down here, maybe watch to see if they push through underpass. So sometimes people actually go in top green, and that's one thing that most people don't do. You know, if you're holding this side from bowling, the enemies are often going to be spawning lemon side, train side, or down towards this side, and a lot of people push through mid, you know, and they go straight for the hard point, and they get picked off because you're going to have a guy there, you might have a guy there, you're probably going to have a guy there, you know, they could be anywhere. So what I always do is I tend to push around green, and I know it's kind of flanking, but the thing is you need to flank. You're not going to win if you don't flank. I mean, you might win, but it really does give your team advantage. All good players do it, like all good teams. You have to have someone hitting the flank, otherwise, you know, if the enemies constantly know where you are, then you have no, like, advantage on them. They're always going to know something that you don't. So I often suggest pushing through green, slaying them out, especially with rotations. Like, rotations on hardpoint, like I've always said, are very, very key. You know, you want to be moving as soon as you get hill control from here. If you're spawning lemon side, you want to be pushing through. You want to be getting these bowling spawns, as next hill is back here, just by the side of blue, on the statue. So this is next hill. Again, there's quite a bit to this hill with spawns, because they can spawn really one of 2 ways. You either get people spawning in blue. Actually, yeah, 2 very simple ways, but those ways can be slightly differently. Because you can have people spawning very close, like very close to around about here. But I think they moved the spawn back to silo, which I know they did because I've spawned there a few times. But sometimes you do get the odd spawn where you're at blue. But say you're pushing up with this side with your team, it's often good to have one person, like I said about the flank, cutting through mid, you know, trying to go for the other side. Because if you're all pushing from one way, it's not very, it is effective in numbers if you can actually manage to win your gunfights, then, you know, that is always good. But if you have that extra person, you know, distracting them in the back, if they say they push from green side, again, green is very important, even though this isn't even green, this is called red, I don't know why I've been calling it green. However, if they push through this side, you know, they may, if they, people get into gunfights here before blue, then they're going to predict that all your team are this side, so they think that everyone's here, so if this guy green just tries to stay alive and keep getting into gunfights and dipping, you know, distracting, then the people around blue can flood in around the hardpoint and always push for this backside. This backside right here is where you get out any anchors or anyone that's going to spawn here. So you can push them right out the map. Also, blue is also very, not blue, bowling is very handy to sit in as well, you know. You can get, it's a nice little space, there's only 2 ways that they can challenge you. And it's always going to cause distractions for the other team, especially if they're at the back. If they're not watching it though, of course, you can go in high warrens. Like, high warren in this game is very effective. However, I wouldn't suggest jumping around too much. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, but if you watch the pros play, they hop. They don't jump. Yes, they might wall run high in the air, but you very rarely see them, like on Black Ops 3, just literally, okay, they might do what I just did there and wall run, but you very rarely see them just constantly, like, no. They jump medium height, but they don't constantly fly directly into the air, and if they do, it often doesn't work. Yes, it's good to sit, you're always going to win the gunfight if you have the same amount of gun skill if you're on the ground, for most cases. If you, for example, if I see a guy here and he's flying out towards blue, I'm most likely going to win the gunfight purely because he's in the air and he's got to try and control so much more than me. So after this hill, it pretty much moves back to the old hill, which, you know, as I've already went over. Actually, I can go over from the other side, and then that's pretty much going to conclude this video. I will be doing a lot of different videos, so it won't just be this. I'll be going through section stores, uplinks, and I'm going to do it I'm going to alternate the videos every day between, you know, a helpful video, you know, things that how to improve your aim, and things that are overall just going to help you in general as a player, whether you're a pub stomper, whether you are a competitive player. I shouldn't really call you a pub stomper because, you know, it's kind of degrading, isn't it? But still, if you are pushing through from this side, it is very similar to the other side. I would suggest that maybe running someone through chain, and maybe even go for the back spawns for barn straight away, but you know, it is up to you. You always pretty much have a guy running through underpass purely because you can get to kill quickly. And I'd even suggest, because people don't really run towards hill on this map, they tend to just try and keep people out, so always try and play your life on this map. So maybe instead of pushing for the hill, because they're probably not going to push for the hill, maybe you should push for train side and watch their underpass. But you always want to have that right person pushing this, or left side in this case. Because this lane here is very big, and it is a game changer, especially when you want to rotate, because you can all push down lemon. Or you can do the opposite, you know, if you have hill control, you can push straight down mid. And again, if you have the other side, you know, with the Call of Duty, the possibilities are endless of where you could actually push. There's lots of different ways, but you always want to push as a team. That's the main thing that you want to do. And then that, of course, you go for back spawns for next. So that's pretty much going to conclude this video, guys. I hope this video helps you out a lot, and I'm going to be going back to daily uploads. I've now got my setup, I've got my Elgato. You guys should be seeing a lot better screen quality. I mean, just look how beautiful this is. Look at it. I mean, it's not the most beautiful. Okay, yeah, we kind of. I mean, you can see Earth. It's not really a good thing because that shows that you're not on Earth. But oh well. You know, I hope you guys found this video useful. Like, hopefully you at least learn one thing. If I didn't just state the obvious, I know that I'm not saying that I'm a pro player, and I'm not saying that I'm like better than anyone else or be able to give people tips. But you know, you most likely learn one thing from this video, and that's what matters is when you're a player, is just learning little things, and those little things really do make a difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video for the 4th time now, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Peace!